Hi, my name's Alexis Testimony, and today I'm telling my story. I've actually already been baptized. I got baptized this past August out at Redberry Bible Camp. My journey as a Christian doesn't have a clear starting point. Jesus caught my attention many times throughout my time in my youth group here, but it hadn't really stuck until senior high. I had phased in and out of a strong faith for many years, and it was only until the end of grade 10 that I decided this was something I was going to take more seriously and root myself in. That was during my first year at Redberry Bible Camp. It's a community that's really stuck by me and encouraged me for the past 4 years. One of the first markers in my faith journey was around the time when I received a suicide note from a close friend of mine. I had not been made aware of mental health struggles in our world, much less in my own. I was absolutely terrified. I didn't know what to do. I was at a complete loss of action. So I did the only thing I could think to do, and that was to pray. I remember praying late into the night, and I was notified the next day that my friend was in the hospital and she was getting the help she needed. This taught me that when things go south and I'm at a loss, I can turn to Jesus. It's okay to be scared, but you can't let it eat you up. You've really got to lean into Jesus in those times of fear and loss, and that's really the only way that you'll make it through. Another more recent incident I had was just a few months ago during my time on Soar, Saskatchewan. It's a 10-day inner cities missions trip that takes place right here in Saskatoon. On the last night, as we were in the chapel singing, we had people up at the front who you could go and pray with. I didn't have a reason for going up. Nothing came to mind that I needed prayer for, but I just really felt like I had to go up. I remember I went to this one guy off to the side, and I get there, and he goes, "Hey, how can I pray for you?" And I don't know I'm up there, so I just look at the guy, I'm like, "I don't know, man. I don't know I'm up here." And so he suggests that we just pray and ask what Jesus has for me. So there we are, we're just standing, and he's praying that God would reveal something to us. And as I'm standing there with my hands out, I hear really clearly and vividly, like over all the noise in the room, a voice told me that my friend was going to be okay and that he's got her. And I totally broke down, but it was a really good breakdown. It was like breaking out of a prison cell. I used to be really worried about the people I loved. I did everything I could to fix their problems, but nothing I did seemed to last or really even help much for that matter. It really consumed me, and it was causing a lot of paranoia. I would go to sleep at night terrified that someone I loved wouldn't wake up the next morning. I have since learned from this experience that I cannot and I should not fix their problems. I can't do anything, and it's actually a blessing. It's not my job to save the world, but it is my job to love it. I can offer myself as a refuge and a safe place. I can lend my ears and my arms and my hands, but I can't get into their head and fix their problems. Jesus is on that, and God's got them. One of my favorite verses in the Bible comes from Matthew chapter 7, verse 6. "Do not give to dogs what is sacred, and do not throw your pearls to pigs. If you do, they may trample them under their feet and turn and tear you to pieces." This verse serves as a reminder to me to not become a doormat and let people walk all over me. Among paranoia, I also used to really struggle with being an absolute doormat, to a fault. I just sit there and let people toy with my head and push me around. I never stood up for myself. I thought if I talked back, I'd make all Christians look bad for them. I have since learned that there's a time and a place to submit and turn the other cheek, but there's also a time and a place to stand up and be bold. It's not my responsibility to uphold the entire reputation of Christianity. It's my responsibility to love others and to love myself, not one nor the other. Today I'm choosing to become a member of this church to root myself in the faith-based community that has supported me through all of my ups and downs. This place has been so important to me for the past 6 years through Grove Youth Junior High and Senior High, and it's about time I plant myself here for good and claim this community as my home.